One Christmas, something strange happened to a woman named Lily. She shared her story online, and it gave everyone chills. Here's what she wrote. ###*** the Christmas visitor ***. It started with a knock at the door. It was late on Christmas Eve, snow falling softly outside. Lily was home alone. Her family was coming over in the morning, so she spent the night wrapping gifts and watching old holiday movies. But when she heard the knock, her heart skipped. She wasn't expecting anyone. She opened the door to see a man standing there. He was older, maybe in his 60s, with a long coat and a red scarf. But what stood out were his shoes. They were wet, like he had been walking for miles. "Can I help you?" Lily asked, trying to sound calm. The man smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I'm here for the boy," he said. Lily froze. "What boy?" He tilted his head, like he was confused by her question. "The boy who lives here. Isn't he around?" "No," she said quickly. "No boy lives here." The man's smile faded. He looked past her into the house, then nodded slowly. "I see," he said. "Well, thank you." And just like that, he turned and walked down the snowy path. The next morning, Lily told her family about the man. Her mother's face went pale. "Lily," she said, "when you were little, you used to say you saw a man outside your window. You called him the Christmas man." Lily laughed nervously. "That's just a kid's imagination." Her mom didn't laugh. "But you said he always asked the same thing. Where's the boy?" That night, Lily couldn't shake the unease. She kept thinking about the man's wet shoes and how he stared past her into the house. Then, as she cleaned up after dinner, she noticed something chilling. On the windowsill, just above the snow-covered porch, there was a single wet footprint. It wasn't hers, and it wasn't anyone in her family's. The story ends there, but Lily says she locks her doors every Christmas Eve now. And every year, when the snow falls, she wonders who the man was, and who the boy might have been. Lily tried to push the whole thing out of her mind, but the memory of the man haunted her. That wet footprint on the windowsill? It didn't melt away like it should have. It stayed there, clear as day, even as the sun came out the next morning. Her mom, sensing her unease, decided to tell her more about the Christmas man. "When you were about 6, her mom began, you used to talk about him like he was your friend. You'd say he wore old clothes and always looked sad. I thought it was just an imaginary friend, but it stopped when we moved. Why didn't you tell me this before?" Lily asked, her voice shaking. "I didn't want to scare you. But the things you used to say, you'd talk about him waiting for someone. Always waiting." That night, Lily dug through old boxes of childhood stuff her mom had kept in the attic. Among the drawings and toys, she found something that made her stomach drop, a crayon drawing of a man. He had a long coat, a red scarf, and hollow eyes. Below the figure, in shaky child's handwriting, were the words, "He's looking for the boy." Lily stared at the drawing, her mind racing. Why couldn't she remember any of this? And who was the boy the man was searching for? Christmas came and went. For a while, Lily tried to forget. She thought maybe it was just a strange coincidence or her imagination playing tricks on her. But the next year, on Christmas Eve, it happened again. Another knock. Same time. Same soft snow falling outside. Lily didn't answer this time. She turned off all the lights and hid behind the couch, her heart pounding. But she could hear it, the slow, deliberate knock, over and over. Then it stopped. Lily peeked through the curtain, and there he was, standing in the same place as before. The man in the coat and red scarf. He looked up at the house, his breath fogging in the cold air. And for the first time, Lily noticed something else. His shadow on the snow wasn't a man's. It was a child's. The next day, Lily couldn't bring herself to tell her family. She didn't want to ruin their Christmas. But when her mom asked if anything unusual happened, Lily broke down and told her everything. Her mom sat quietly for a long time. Finally, she said, I think we need to find out more about this house. After Christmas, Lily and her mom went to the local library. They searched through old records and news articles. What they found chilled them to the core. Years ago, a boy had lived in Lily's house. He went missing one snowy Christmas Eve and was never found. The police suspected he had wandered out into the woods, but his body was never recovered. His father, overcome with grief, searched for him every Christmas Eve until the day he died. He wore the same coat and scarf every year. Lily realized the truth. The man wasn't looking for any boy. He was looking for his boy. Now, every Christmas Eve, Lily leaves a candle burning in the window and a note on the porch that says, "The boy isn't here." Since then, she hasn't heard the knock again. But she still wonders if the man is out there, wandering in the snow, still searching. Lily thought the story would end there. The candle in the window, the note on the porch, it seemed to keep the man away. But deep down, she knew it wasn't over. Not really. The following Christmas Eve, she lit the candle and left the note as usual. This time, though, something told her to stay awake, to keep watch. She sat by the window, wrapped in a blanket, the snow falling gently outside. Midnight came, and for a while, it was quiet. No knock at the door. No shadow in the snow. Lily began to think maybe it was all behind her. But then she saw him. The man stood at the edge of her yard, his figure barely visible through the falling snow. He didn't move toward the house this time. Instead, he just stood there, staring at the candle in the window. Lily's heart raced, but she forced herself to stay calm. Slowly, she opened the front door and stepped onto the porch. The air was icy, and her breath came out in clouds. "What do you want?" she called out. The man didn't answer. He looked up at her, his hollow eyes filled with a sadness so deep it seemed to echo through the quiet night. He raised a hand and pointed to the woods behind her house. Lily felt a chill run down her spine. She knew what he was trying to say. The next morning, Lily made a decision. She couldn't keep ignoring the man. She had to face whatever it was he wanted her to find. So, bundling up in her warmest coat, she grabbed a flashlight and headed into the woods. Her mom wanted to come with her, but Lily insisted on going alone. Somehow, she felt this was something only she could do. The woods was silent except for the crunch of snow under her boots. The man's presence lingered in her mind, like a shadow guiding her steps. She walked deeper and deeper until she reached a clearing. And there, under a large, ancient oak tree, she saw it, a small, weathered wooden box, half buried in the snow. Lily knelt down and brushed the snow away. Her hands trembled as she opened the box. Inside was a faded photograph of a young boy, smiling brightly, and a letter. The letter was addressed to my son and was written in shaky handwriting. It read, "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. I'll keep looking until I find you. I love you always, Dad." Tears filled Lily's eyes as she realized the truth. The man wasn't haunting her house. He was trying to say goodbye. He had been searching for his son all these years, unable to move on. That night, Lily placed the photograph and the letter on her mantel. She lit the candle in the window again. But this time, it wasn't to keep the man away. It was to guide him home. As the hours passed, Lily sat by the fire, watching the flame flicker. Just before midnight, a strange peace settled over the house. She felt it, as though the air had shifted. The weight of sadness lifted, and for the first time in years, the night felt calm. Lily never saw the man again after that Christmas. But every year, she still lights a candle in the window, just in case. Not out of fear, but out of respect. Because she knows now that Christmas isn't just about joy, it's about love, forgiveness, and letting go. And somewhere, in the quiet snow-covered woods, a father and son might finally be at peace.